Okay, guys. So welcome to our next session, Java from scratch. We will covering these. We will covering the topics today in our session are Java naming convention, classes and objects, deep dive, classes and object deep dive, constructor and constructor overloading. Yes, so we were the session, the topics we will covering in this session are Java naming convention, classes and object deep dive, constructor and constructor overloading. Now, what is Java naming convention? While giving names to the classes, objects, packages, variables, okay, we have to follow some rules. Okay, these are not forcefully applied, but these are conventions with these are not forcefully applied, but we can say we have to follow. Okay, these are just a good steps toward a good programmer. Okay, so the rules for naming the class is that it should start with the uppercase letter. It should be a noun. We should always use appropriate words instead of acronyms. So that what happens? Why this naming convention required in Java? Okay, in any programming, naming convention is must required. Okay, now why is this required? Suppose I am working in a company. Okay, and I am a software developer. I have developed a software which is in use now. Okay, and we all know that software requires maintenance at a particular time period. Okay, so what happened? I have left the job and a new person came. Okay, at this post. Okay, now he will if there is any work or any bug come in the software. Okay, so what he has to do, he has to read all the line of codes for understanding. Okay, but if I use a better naming convention, he or she could can easily get the knowledge of what a function or a variable or a we can say package or module is doing, okay, by its name only. Okay, so naming convention is must required. Okay, so these are the rules for naming the class. Okay, that first the uppercase letter, it should be a noun, color, adjective. For interface it is also same, but we have to use adjectives here. Okay, and for methods it is just we should start with lowercase letter. It should be a verb. Okay, such as main, print, or println. These are the names which are given. So like if I see print, okay, I know that what the work is doing, it is printing something. Okay, I know this. Now this method that print ln, it gives me that print and ln means new line. Okay, so by name I can understand what a particular function is doing. Okay, so it becomes easy for me and also for the person who is seeing my code. Okay, it is a practice of a good programmer. Okay, and okay, if the name contains multiple words, it starts with lowercase letter followed by an uppercase letter. This is known as just we can say it is known as camel writing. Okay, camel case writing. Okay, like if I'm saying action performed. Okay, so what action a is smaller but the next word of performed p, that is in uppercase. Okay, so this is known as camel case. Okay, it is also a naming convention rule. Okay, variable name, that it should start with lowercase letter. Okay, such as id or name. It should not start with the special characters like ampersand, dollar, and underscore. Okay, the if the same contains multiple words, okay, if the name contains multiple words, we have to again use camel case. Okay, and we should not use one character variables like x, y, z. Okay, when we are in a professional world. Okay, next is package. Okay, for package name giving, it should be a lowercase letter such as Java lang. So Java is also a package. Okay, we will import it when it will come in our use. Okay, lang. If the name contains multiple words, it should be separated by dots. Okay, just when we import the if a module, what happens when we import any module or any package, there are multiple words, so we use dot operator. Okay, we use dot operator. We'll get deep dive in the packages. Okay, there will be a particular class on the packages. Okay, now constant, it should also be in uppercase letters such as red, yellow. Okay, if the name contains multiple words, again it should be separated by underscore. Okay, such as max priority. Here we will not use camel case. Okay, we can just write all the case in the uppercase letters. Okay, and for if there are two words, I have to just separate it by an underscore. Okay, it may contain digits but not as the first letter. Okay, first letter should not be a digit. So example for constant, I have written like static final int. Now final is a keyword, okay, and static is also a, we can say, keyword. It is used when we have to, when we it is used like static keywords when we have to give variable name static, made some variables or methods static. Okay, this will be also tell you when we will learn about the this keyword, final keyword, all the things. Okay, int minimum age. Now what I have done, I have created a variable min age, and this is 18. Now anyone who reads, okay, by naming convention you can get this is a constant. By final we can make it constant. Okay, by final it becomes a constant variable. Now I cannot change its value, and okay, in the entire life cycle of a program. Okay, and about camel case I have told you already. Okay, so this was the first topic we have covered. It is small topic. Okay, and the second topic, classes and object, deep dive we will take it. Now what is classes and objects, we will I have told you in the first class, also in the introduction class, what is classes and objects also. Now we will take a deep dive knowledge about object and classes. Okay, first, object in Java is, we can say, a physical, okay, as well as logical entity. It is a physical or as well as a logical entity. Okay, whereas a class in Java is a logical entity only. Okay, class in Java is a logical entity. Okay, now definition of an object, just think about this only. Okay, in a simple words, I will get to know all the things in future. Okay, definition of an object, an entity does an entity that has state and behavior. Okay, anything which has its state and its behavior. Now what is state and behavior, you will get to understand by a simple example. I will tell you. State, any entity which has an state and behavior is known as an object. Okay, which is known as an object. Like I say, chair, bike, marker, pen, table, car, etc. These all things are objects. Okay, and it can be physical or logical. Means we can say it, it can be physical also, logical. Means physical, we can say, it is tangible and intangible. Okay, intangible and tangible, both it can be. Now if I say about chair, so chair is also what, it is an object, but how it is tangible. Now what is tangible, I can see it, I can touch it. Intangible, that I can only feel it. That a banking system, okay, we cannot touch it, or we cannot, I can just see, feel it. Okay, so this is intangible object. Now what happens, it is in the definition saying it is physical as well as logical entity. Means it can be tangible or intangible, but the class is always a logical entity only. It does not exist in the physical form. Like if I say fruit, so what is fruit? Fruit is a class. Okay, if I say grapes, okay, if I say grapes, if I say like any other fruit, banana or papaya, so these are what, these are objects of that class. Okay, so what happens, that this is an intangible object, fruits are intangible, I can say it is an logical entity. Now objects are what, bananas, grapes, I can touch these things, these are tangible. So these are physical as well as logical entities both, but class exists only in logical entity. Okay, so this is so a object has three characteristics. That is, first, state, behavior, and identity. How will I identify an object? What is its behavior and what is states? Okay, so for understanding this, let's take an example. This I say that if uh, if I have a car, okay, and car is of blue color, okay, and we can say a car is of blue color. Its name is BMW in simple words. Okay, so what is it? It is a state. Okay, the name of car, the color of it. It has four, like we can say, it has four tires. Okay, these are what, these are its state. Now what if I say about the behavior? What is its behavior? Its behavior are, we can drive the car. Okay, it take the person from one place, so it is a behavior. And identity is what, in Java we can say an object identity is typically implemented via unique ID. Every object is given a unique ID. Okay, and the value of the ID is not visible to the external user. External user who is using the object is not able to see this ID. It is internally given by the JVM. Okay, and why it is given? Because we have to, in a program we create multiple thousands of objects. Okay, so to uniquely identify each object, a ID is given to them. Okay, Now, what is class in Java? Class is, we can also say class is a group of objects which have common properties. Like if I say fruit, so every fruit is have a taste. Okay, common property. Every fruit has a shape. It is also a common property. Okay, so these are what a fruit is a class, and objects are banana, and these all have common properties like they have taste, they have some size, they have some shape. Okay, so it is a template, or we can say it is a blueprint from which objects are created. Now I can say na, from fruit, anything which has taste, shape, size, I can and categorize them um, into the fruit class. Okay, so according to these, objects are created. So object is what? Object, we can say that class is a blueprint from which objects are created, and classes always exist only in a logical entity. It can't be physical. Okay, now class in Java contains fields, methods, sorry, constructors, blocks, nested class, and interface. Now nested class and interface means, as I said about the nested loop, loop inside loop, the same as class, a class inside another class, a interface inside interface. Now what is interface, we will get to learn. First look at a program. Okay, so it will be better, easy to understand for us. Okay, if I say, just look in a simple words, if I say class student. Okay, now what is a student? A student is a class which has two variables, or we can say instance variable, int id and string. We can also say these are the field. Okay, these are the field also of this program. Okay, int id and string name. Okay, now what I'm doing, I'm just in the void main, what I'm doing, I'm just creating its function. I'm creating this object. So how to create object? To create an object, we have to first write the class name of which we have to create the object. Okay, then we have to write the object name which I want to give. Okay, and after that I have to write equal to sign, and after that I have to write just new keyword. What I have to write? I have to write new keyword. Now what does this new keyword do? Okay, when I write new keyword with or creating object, it, what does it do? It just allocate memory to the object in the at the runtime. Okay, so new keyword is used to allocate memory to the object in the memory. ओके, मेमोरी में एक एरिया देने के लिए काम में लिया जाता है न्यू कीवर्ड फॉर द ऑब्जेक्ट. अब ऑब्जेक्ट कहीं ना कहीं तो स्टोर होगा ना, तो ये ऑब्जेक्ट कहाँ जाके स्टोर होते हैं? ऑब्जेक्ट्स आर स्टोर्ड, वेट मिनट, what is this happen? Yes, look at this diagram. That S1 and S2 are objects which are stored in the stack memory. Where it is stored? It is stored in the stack memory. Okay, and what is this? Close. Okay, what is happening when we create object, okay, of an class? It is stored in the stack. Where it is stored? It is stored in the stack, and the values or the variables are stored in the heap. Okay, the object, the data which is stored by these objects are stored in the heap. Okay, the reference, s1 is what? It is a reference variable, we can also say it. Okay, object, it is also a reference variable. Now when I will print, I will just print system.out.println s1.id. What I will do, I will just print s1.id and s1.name. Let's see, do it, what happens, what it output give us. I will run this program. Okay, for this I have to go to the file where I have been stored these. Okay, I think you are all able to see this. Okay, okay, just okay. I have to see the path. Wait a minute, guys. Okay, space was there. Java. Okay, I'm in this. I will just run the Java C. The file name I have stored with is object1. So I will write object1 dot Java. It has been compiled. It has been compiling. Okay, it has been compiled successfully. Now I will run Java. The class name student, and I will enter. It will give me 0 and null. Okay, now where this 0 and null has been come from? Okay, it has been come from here. Look what I have given. I given ID anything? No. I have given name anything? No. Then where this 0 and null come from? Okay, one more thing, Leonard. If I have not given a string anything, okay, it occupies equal to null. Okay, it is equal to null. We cannot allow 0 it. Okay, for string we always allow we always give null, and for variables like int, float, floating points, number, integers, okay, we can give 0. Okay, so where the 0 and null come from? Okay, these are come from the constructor. Here we should know about the role of constructor. What does the constructor do? It is used to initialize. What does it do? It is used to initialize. It is used to initialize our variables, or we can say instance variable of the class. Instance variable of the class. Now where here is not any constructor. So constructor is what? There are two types of constructor, and default constructor and parameterized constructor. Okay, now what happens in default constructor and parameterized constructor? I will tell you. Constructor is same like a function only. Okay, constructor is same like function. Any method like its main method, it can be same as the method only. What is this? It is same as the name of the constructor is same as the class name. If the class name is student, the constructor name will be a student. Okay, if I have nothing written anything here, okay, the JVM internally creates a constructor. Okay, when we compile the program, when we compile it, JVM internally created a constructor and it initializes these variables. So ID was initialized by 0 and the name is initialized with null. So I get 0 and null from there. Okay, now what is constructor? I will tell you in more deep. Okay, first I have to cover. Okay, so now we have gone to this topic also. Okay, constructor. Just wait a minute. Okay, one more thing I have to show you that yes, we can also create. Okay, just look here. There is also not a constructor. What we can do? I have created a class student. Okay, it has a int roll number, a name, and a string name. Okay, I've created a method here. Void insert. Now what is void? Void is a return type, and insert record is the function name. Okay, look here. I have written in the camel case. Okay, and what is it? It is the parameters with this function want. Okay, by this function I will initialize these. I will initialize this. Now you will say, sir, you said that a constructor is used for initializing objects, the variables. No, but actually what happens, we can also initialize these variables by the use of methods also. Okay, but if I do not write anything here, the constructor is being called implicitly. Okay, a constructor is created and 0 and null values provided to these. String types variables are provided nulls, and number types variables are provided 0. Okay, so void insert record, what I've done, int r string and roll number equals to r means what is in the r. Okay, what will it will get in the r? It is being assigned to the roll number. Okay, and what is being assigned in the n? It is assigned to the name. Now how this work? I have created one more function in this class. Void display information system.out.println roll number and name. What I am going to print? I am printing here roll number and name, this variable. Okay, what I've done, I've created another class. In another class I've created main function. Look guys, the methods are created basically in the main function only. Okay, when we have to run any program, the main function is must required, I said you. Okay, so I have created a student s1. S1 is the object. Okay, equals to new. Why new? I told you earlier. And then again class name, and this double square brackets and semicolon. I've created two objects, that is s1 and s2. Now what I've done, if I want to call any method of another class, what I have to do? First I have to create object of that class. I have created, because only the object of this class have the right to access its variables and methods. Okay, no other can access. So I have to create s1 object. Okay, object of these class. Okay, I have created s1 and s2. How I created? I return the class name first, then object name equals to sign, new keyword I have used, and then again the class name. Okay, so I've created two objects. I have used s1 dot insert record. Now what is dot is an operator. By writing dot, I tell that s1 is object, okay, of student class. It has been known by it. Now as they in the student class, there is a method insert record which I want to access, so I write s dot insert record. First wire to give int variable, int value, so I have given int, then comma for separating, and then a string in the double quotes. Okay, so two value which is required by this method I have passed to it. These are known as parameters. Okay, and s2 dot insert record, second I have passed it. When I will display it, okay, when I will run this program, what I will see, just look. Okay, I am going to run this program in front of you. I will just write java c and the yes, object dot java, enter. It has been compiled successfully. Now we'll run it. Java object, sorry, class name was student, enter. Error, main method not found in class. Okay, so what one thing I would also tell you, you have to write the class name of that class in which java method is present, main method is present, I want to say that. Okay, so what was the name of that? Test student 4. What is the class name of that? What is the class name of that class which contains the main method? That is test student dot test student 4. So I will use here test student 4, test student, student test student 4. Yes, it has given me output as you can see, 1111 Karan and Aryan. Okay, okay, Karan and Aryan. I will just, what I will do, I will just do something editing in this. I'm just converting something. Okay, I'm just writing here. I'm writing Java. Okay, so I have saved this file. I have to again compile it. Java C object to enter. It has been compiled successfully. I will run this. It was not this, no, no, no. Yes, it was this. Enter. Here you can see Java instead of current Java. So guys, this is the basic concept of about, I want to tell you how to create methods inside class and how to access them, variables and the methods inside there. Okay, so this was the basic concept which I want to tell you. Okay, now here comes the concept of constructor. I told you that for initialization, okay, for initializing the variables we use constructors. What we use constructor. So in Java, constructor is what? It is a block of code, and it is called when an instance of the class is created. Now, when it is called, it is only called for method. What I have to do? I have to create an object. And after that, what I have done, I have created the object. I have to write object name with dot operator, and then I have to write the method name and pass the argument if required by the method. Okay. So what in constructor happens when I create object? Okay, when I create object, the constructor is implicitly called. Okay, the gvm automatically calls the constructor. Okay, so what happens when I create the object? It creates automatically the, it calls automatically the constructor. Okay, and at that time of calling the constructor, memory for the object is allocated in the memory. Okay, so in the memory, what happens? The object is allocated a area in the memory. Okay, so it is a special type of method. It is also same as a method, but it is a special type of method which is used to initialize the object. I already said which is used to initialize the objects. Now what does object contains? Objects have some properties, and these properties are stored in the class, which are in the form of in the form of variables or fields. Okay, so these we have to initialize these. Okay, so in this case, objects also initialize automatically. So I return to initialize the objects. Okay, every time when an object is created by the new keyword, at least one constructor is called every time, whether there is constructor we create by ourselves or we do not create by ourselves. What happens if we do not create by ourselves? Java implicitly calls a constructor, default constructor. Okay, if we want to create, we can also create. Okay, there are two types of constructor in Java: no argument constructor and parameterized constructor. Here we can also say default constructor also we can. Okay, but default constructor are which those constructor which are implicitly called by the Java itself. Okay, and parameterized constructor and no argument constructor means we have to know, I do not have to pass any argument. Okay, and now that these constructor, because it construct the value at the time of object creation only, it creates at the time of object creation only. Now how it works, I will show you with an example. You will get better understanding from this. Okay, yes, what I will do, I will just doing something. One more thing, this naming convention of constructor, while we give name to the constructor, it should be remembered that there are certain rules that the constructor name must be the same as its class name. What? Constructor name must be the same as its class name. Second, a constructor must have no explicitly written type, means a constructor does not return anything. Okay, it should not explicitly have no explicitly written type. Okay, we cannot provide like int or anything to return. Okay, and a Java constructor cannot be abstract, static, or final. Okay, it cannot be abstract, static, and final and synchronized. Okay, and types of Java constructor, I told you two types: no argument constructor, parameterized constructor. Now for easy learning, I'm going to tell you an example. Okay, it will easy to help you. Okay, what I have done, I have created an example. You can say here is a class bike one. Okay, I can say that simply it is a class vehicle. Okay, now what happens, I have to just, I am creating a constructor having vehicle with the name vehicle only, same name of the class name, because it is the rule. Constructor name should be same as the class name. I have written here vehicle. No return type, nothing. Double square brackets, there are no argument. This is the default constructor. Okay, system.out.println. If this, if the control comes in the inside of this method, this line will be get printed. Okay, and if it does not come, it will give me an error. Okay, so let's run it. What I've done, I have just created an object B, and the class name, sorry, class name was vehicle. I have to, yes, vehicle. Okay, class name was vehicle. B equals to new vehicle. Okay, what I will do, I will just run it. Okay, I will just control S. I've saved this file. Okay, now I will run it. The name is construct. Okay, I will run that cd. Okay, sorry, Java C. First thing I will always do, that is compilation. Java C construct dot Java. I think it is the right name. Yes, it has been compiled successfully. Now Java, the class name where the main function is static void main, it is in the same class, so I can use the vehicle class. Okay, command prompt Java class vehicle. Okay, my spelling is something, spelling is wrong, I think so. Oh, okay, I will run it. Enter. Bike is created. Okay, bike is created. Now if I look upon our program, the statement which we want to print was bike is created. Okay, so this is the use of default constructor. Now what I will do, I will just do one thing. Okay, this is the constructor, you know, the default constructor meaning. Now I will do one thing, I will just make changes. Yes, yeah, what I will do, I will just, okay, yes, I will create a constructor here. Okay, student, so I will create a student. Okay, int r and string n. Okay, this is working. Okay, no problem. What I have to do, okay, look, this is parameterized constructor. What is this parameterized constructor? Why? It requires two arguments. Okay, so at the time of creating object, we also have to pass two values. Okay, just think. Why? Because constructor are invoked when we create object. When we create object. Okay, so while creating object, we have to pass this. Okay, I'm just here. Yes, wait a minute. Control C. V. Control C. Control. Now, what is there is no use of this thing. These two lines there is no use of. Why? Because I am doing initialization by creating constructor, not by creating any method. So I do not need to call, because constructor are implicitly called when an object is being created. What thing I have to remember, that if the constructor is parameterized, I have to pass parameters, and if it's not, I do not need to pass. I will go and run this code. Okay, run this code. If I say java c object, okay, yes, object2 dot java, it has been compiled successfully. Okay, you can see. Okay, now I will run this java, and the class name was, I think so, student, which main method was student 4. Okay, so student 4, yes, I will write a student test 4. Okay, enter. Error, could not find or load main class student test 4. Why? I have written the class. Okay, test student that was. Okay, okay. Sorry, guys. It is test student, not a student test. Yes, student. Okay, now it will enter. Yes, look, here it is being, the value is being given. Okay, so this the way the constructor works. These are the parameteric constructor which we used. Okay. So what I do not need any method to initialize. We can use this by just simple 3 lines of code. And what happens? My 2 lines are being decreased in this line of code. Okay. Now there are two types. I told you that parameterized and default. What is parameterized and non-argument? I'm creating here one more constructor. You can create many number of constructor as you must want. Okay, from these things I will tell you about one more thing, that is constructor overloading. Okay, you will get to understand about this topic also. So from today, this is the last thing which I will told you today. Okay, I'm creating student, and what I'm doing, I'm just, okay, yes, I'm doing roll number equals to 0. Okay, I'm assigning 12, something like this. And for string name, now I'm just writing name equals to we can say Kritik. We can say that Kritik. Okay, some, yes, semicolon. Okay, what I, yes, one more thing, cultivate system. Okay, now it's okay. Okay, I have created two constructor, student 1, student, and student. Now what is this? It does not require any argument. So what I will do, I will just create an object without argument and one object with argument. So decide one more thing, this is known as constructor overloading. What is constructor overloading? I'm creating two constructor of same name, but what is different between them? Arguments, the number of parameters I am passing. So what is happening if this object is when this object s2 is created, it has two parameter. The compiler will say, okay, it requires this constructor, it will go to this. Okay, and this has nothing, anything, it does not have anything. Okay, it will go to this constructor student without parameter. Okay, so this work, this is known as constructor overloading. Okay, this is known as constructor overloading. I will again run it, you will see the output and you will get, okay, what a great deal I have done. Okay, java c, sorry, yes, I will run this simple program, java test student 4, enter. Look, 12 Ritik. Okay, so this is done automatically by our system, by the java, by the jvm. Okay, this is the beauty of java. Understood? So this is the whole thing which I told you. So today I learned you about a great things about constructor overloading, about constructors, okay, and many more things about constructor. One more small topic which I want to tell you about constructor is that I can also, what we can do, but one thing is we have to copy objects, okay. I can here what we can do, I can do one more thing. I'm creating one more object here, okay. I'm creating one method. We can say that void, okay, copy. Now what this method will require, okay, so guys, we will cover this part in next, okay. It will take up a long time, okay. We'll cover this in the next session, okay. Till now we have covered the class constructor overloading, we have covered the naming convention, we have also gone through the objects and classes in the deep dive, okay. So guys, thank you. We will continue the other session from here with the copy of constructors, and we will also start inheritance, okay. And this and static keywords will be also tell you in detail in the next class, okay. Thank you guys.